This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Alright, we got a really bad rare. Has a horrible win rate on 17 lands if you don't believe my assessment of the card. But, it's just a big, dumb creature that mills. It's not usually what you want to do in any format. And in this one especially, you don't really want to do it. This is not an amazing pack. We've got Hero of the Dunes, which is a great signpost. Chromatic Star. I've heard some people advocate for first picking these sorts of things just because they'll always make your deck and they always bring synergy to your deck. But I don't love it. The power level is just not there. Aeronaut Cavalry, Wing Commando. Excuse me. Those things have been pretty good. I think we just take the hero, though. It is gold. It's sort of like, this has a high power level, but our chances of playing it are lower. This has basically a 100% chance of us playing it, but a lower power level, is kind of what we're looking at. And I think we just take the hero in the end. Wasn't a great pack to start with, but okay. So my favorite decks in the format are probably black-green and blue-black. Black-red is the one I've done the best with by a substantial margin. I think 11 of my 12 7-win decks have been black-red. So we got the hero. 2-drops like this are way better in the format than they look just because they're 2-drops. We've also got Scrapwork Rager, Trench Stalker, Boulder Branch Golem, the War Plow. Levitating Statue, if you end up in the right deck, is pretty good. I'm kind of leaning towards just taking the Vanguard. It's funny that, the Worker just hasn't ended up being that impressive overall in the format, and this little 2-drop has been pretty legit. So I think I'm just going to take the 2-drop. Okay, interesting stuff here. We've got Philology Vanguard, which is great if you go red-white, obviously. Third Path Iconoclast. The signposts in this format are really strong. And then the monocolored cards in this pack, you have to be black-red, basically, or this isn't worth it. This is okay in all decks, but really good in, blue-black. I think we just take another signpost here. Vanguard is very nice. New mechanics in the set include Prototype. I guess Power Stones are sort of new. They're not exactly, but they're sort of new. Yodian Frontliner is pretty darn good, in this format in general. I think the best card in this pack is the Baloth, though. It's good in aggressive decks, but it also helps the non-aggressive decks weather the storm by playing, a big body on turn 4 that can usually block things effectively and gain you life. Unleashed Shell's not bad. Power Stone Fracture. So I think we're looking sort of Baloth Frontliner. We're not really committed anywhere yet. Given what we have already, I think Frontliner is better, but I think Baloth is a better card. And so that's sort of the decision we have to make here. I'm kind of leaning Baloth. I just think it's good enough that it's worth grabbing here and seeing where things take us. All right. Recommission has been solid, as has Mishra's Juggernaut. Emergency Weld is pretty good, and then we have a mediocre 2-drop and a decent trick in green. Kind of leaning Weld. I think it's probably just the best card of the bunch. Yeah, I think we go Weld here. Yeah, I do like the green-white deck in the format. Okay, so black looks pretty open. We're getting a Disfigure here. Ironclaw Crusher's not bad. Prison Sentence isn't bad either. Maybe I take the Sentence because it will fit into a black-white or red-white deck. And I think they're comparable. So, yeah, we'll take the Prison Sentence. Because we're still not sort of locked in on what we're doing here. A couple of pretty good blue cards. Both have sort of been a little worse than I would have liked, but they're both fine. So Acrobat, Trench Stalker, Survivor, has been surprisingly good in both of these decks, actually. I think I'd probably take it. If we're doing Vanguard or Hero of the Dunes things, it's good. And there are other ways to buff it too. I've been pretty happy with it overall. It's been surprisingly good. This pack is very bad. It sort of shows you, it's like a who's who of cards that you don't want to play in the format. Like Wasteful Harvest, Rust Goliath, Philology Excavation. Like, these cards have all ended up being big duds. Blanchwood Armor is actually playable if you end up in the right deck. I think we just take Loran's Escape. It's not amazing, but it's by far the best card. This is like sideboard cards and unplayables and, you know, mono green build around, which I guess if there's someone doing mono green, they're going to be pretty happy. So, okay, so Sentinel Steward here is pretty nice. We'd have another Weld. Perimeter Patrol's not bad either, but the Steward's probably just the best card in this deck overall, so we'll grab it. We could go in a number of directions. White seems to be part of our plan. Yeah, Union of the Third Path is not very good. I think we'll just grab a Trench Stalker here. All right, another Steward works for me. So, you know, for green-white, it's not going to be that hard for us to potentially splash, like, Vanguard and or Hero. There's that Wasteful Harvest. I mean, Machine Over Matter is actually playable, and so is Scatter Ray, really. So I'll take it. I mean, yeah. Giant Growth or Honor Guard. They're both playable, so I'm liking that I'm seeing them here. Probably means green is open. I think I go Honor Guard. You let somebody else have Splitting the Power Stone. Yeah. Okay. Well, Misery Shadow is a really powerful black card. So that kind of nudges me further into black-white. We've also got another Baloth, though, which, like I said, very good. There's also an Epic Confrontation. Warlord's Elite has been nice. We'd probably just take the Shadow. As good as Baloth is, like, this thing's better, you know. It's a must-kill 2-drop. And sure, they can kill it, but, you know, if we've got Hero of the Dunes and Recommission, good luck keeping it dead, you know. Soul Partition can be kind of interesting. So yeah, right now, feels to me like we're leaning black-white, but I guess, depending on what happens here, we could end up in a lot of different places. The black cards here aren't good. Soul Partition is fine. Yodian Medic's fine. I may just take another Vanguard. I do like Boulder Branch Golem. But I'm more confident I'm playing white than I am that I'm playing green. And this is a fine 2-drop, so. Okay. Well. Another Emergency Weld. The Locust is fine. I don't have that many non-creatures, I'm sure. No. Elsewhere Flask is a nice little card, for sure. Confrontation's probably, like, the best card in this pack, if we are just going by that measurement. But at this point, I think our black looks good enough that I start to favor black cards a little more. I think I take the Locust here. Yeah, bad green cards. Amulet's okay. We already have one Weld. We could get another. Acrobat's fine, though much better in like a black-red deck. I'll probably just grab another Weld. The only thing about green that would have been nice is like the Stalwarts could have fixed. And with like one Evolving Wilds in the mix, we could have splashed both of these signposts, but green just doesn't feel that open. I guess if that Baloth like wheels, that'll be hard to say no to. Right now, Trench Stalker doesn't look great, no matter what deck we end up in. Okay, another Prison Sentence. Do I take that over Gnawing Vermin and probably, yeah. Good removal. Yeah, white seems kind of the most locked in. It's kind of funny because our white's not that good when you take the two signposts out. So maybe it's not that locked in. It's been an interesting draft. I haven't really seen anything that really pulls me in one direction or the other. I think we take Disenchant here. We could still be green-white. We could still be white-black. We could still be green-black. And that's not a good place to be. It's been, like I said, an interesting draft in terms of navigating things. So, Deadly Riposte isn't bad, but you kind of have to be non-aggressive. And I feel like we're leaning into aggression at this point. Yeah, black-white. Black-white seems likely here. So we're going to take the War Plow. And I think, barring something crazy from happening, I think we finally found what we're doing. Our black is very good. You know, the two welds, the shadow especially, are good. Power Stone Fracture. We're not amazing at using Power Stone Fracture right now. There is a Recommission and a Phalanx Vanguard, both of which are pretty good. I kind of think I'm in on Recommission here over a third Vanguard. Yeah. All right, so I don't love Riposte if I'm not a, you know, more defensive control grindy deck. I think we just take Aeronaut's Wings. All right, so we'll take a Medic here. Third Emergency Weld is probably more than we need. I'm going to take a Juggernaut. I don't want to play that. I mean, I don't really want to play Bonesaw either, but I doubt I have 4 of them. So, try to complete that collection. Grab Veteran's Power Blade. Hopefully don't play it. Okay. So our deck's actually reasonably well constructed for this right now. So it's worth thinking about. We've also got Warlord's Elite, which I think our deck is pretty reasonable at utilizing right now. Ravenous Gigamole. But, yeah, I mean, I think we're mostly looking at Elite and Construction. I like Gigamole a reasonable amount, but I think Elite has ended up being even better. Doubt we play a Power Blade. It's only artifacts and creatures, so, like, I can't put Prison Sentence into play. Ugh. I just feel like there's too good of a chance we don't hit stuff, so I'm just going to grab the Elite. I mean, there's a decent chance it works, but that's not good enough. Well, there's Awake in the Woods, which, you know, if we'd stuck with green, is obviously what we would pick here. Instead, we're going to take Lay Down Arms, which is a great removal spell, even if you're only, like, half white, which is probably where we're going. Don't feel amazing about this deck, though. I'll say that much. Now they throw a Yodian Dissident at me and an Excavation Explosion. Both of those are so good. I mean, Ambush Paratrooper's fine, though, so we're happy. We're happy to take it, but there's better... You know, even Gaia's Gift is pretty exciting. I wonder if that Kaya's whatever will wheel, because I would be willing to take it on a much later pick, for sure. But, yeah. Another Vanguard. So, once you have Warlord's Elites, these little artifacts start to get a little better. And we have a few other artifact payoffs, but we don't have a ton. Again, don't really want a third weld. So I think we're looking at Soul Guide Lantern versus Vanguard number 3. I'd probably just go with Vanguard number 3. This Trench Stalker might make the cut. We're not drawing any cards right now, right? We'd probably need like 2 cards that draws cards, and then it would make the cut. Mishra's Research Desk is pretty sweet. We're not that good with the Survivor, unfortunately. Hero of the Dunes right now is the only way we have to buff it. I guess Recommission will do it too. Third Emergency Weld seems a little excessive. So it's either Survivor or Medic. I think we just go Survivor. I need some tricks, and I wouldn't mind the 5-mana 3/4 that puts counters on soldiers at this point. But yeah. We don't have any assembly workers to make self-assembler interesting. I think we just take Power Stone Fracture now. This deck, yeah, I mean, from the beginning, this deck hasn't felt super good. And it still doesn't. I mean, it's not terrible. We've got removal and stuff. Like, you know, that's what you want. And this Loran's not bad for us. Or is it, actually? No, it's not that good. It's never mind. Never mind. You know, some fixing that does soldiery stuff, I guess. This might just be, in terms of how the draft has gone, might be like the worst a draft has felt for me in this format. So we'll see how the deck does. It should be interesting. Mine Worker, I guess. Well, this did wheel, and that's at least fun. We got a fun card in the mix. Let's do it. Power Plant Worker, another escape. I mean, it's hard to play more than one escape, frankly, so may as well just take the worker. My God, I should have stayed green. It didn't feel that way. Like, in the whole second pack, green was not open at all, but Dissident, Gaia's Gift, goodness. Goodness. Yeah, I think green-white was probably... I don't disagree with you. Probably the route to go, the way things panned out. Especially in this last pack. We would have really shored things up in this last pack. So, you know, we've got some powerful cards. We've got removal. We have some graveyard recursion. I mean, this deck's not, like, guaranteed 0-3, but I don't think it has a super high ceiling. I probably cut one of the survivors. We just aren't that good at buffing it. Probably cut an Emergency Weld. I actually may play 2 Aeronaut's Wings in this deck, which normally I only like 1. But we have a number of cards that like artifacts, like Kayla's Reconstruction and Recommission to a lesser extent. And Warlord's Elite likes having Aeronaut's Wings around. So I think we leave it in. Both in, that is. So, yeah, we're not playing the Juggernaut because we're not bringing it back. This is basically a 2. Like, we ended up with a fairly aggressive curve, but then we also have, like, Emergency Welds, which are okay in any deck, but, you know, I don't love this. Yeah, so we'd probably cut Power Plant Worker and I guess Trench Stalker. So the thing is, our deck has like this super aggressive curve, but it does not feel like it's going to be good enough at getting in there early to me. Maybe just another Survivor gets cut in the end. Yeah. We're not good with it. I mean, it's okay when we get Hero in play, but that's... And when we recommission it, but that's not enough. Paratrooper does a thing with it too, but still not really enough. Well, we do have Aeronaut's Wings. Interesting. Do we really only have 11 creatures in this deck? Okay, hold on. We're gonna have to shore that up a little bit. Okay. So with the Power Blade around, I mean, I don't like that card at all, but I think we're in a dire enough situation. And we do have a lot of soldiers. I think we like the Power Blade enough to leave it in. For the same reason the Aeronaut's Wings are good. And then we need to cut some cards that aren't creatures, especially those that don't add to the board. And I'm definitely... Loran's Escape is definitely in the mix there. I mean, we did just put in a Power Blade, which doesn't add to the board. How good is Recommission in our deck? Not amazing. You know, the sweetest thing is getting back Warlord's Elite. I mean, everything we get back is pretty good when we bring it back. So maybe we go down to 1 Weld and leave in a Recommission. I mean, the Weld does add to the board, but not substantially. And then maybe we cut Disenchant. Yeah. That gets us up to 13 creatures, which is still less than we want. Goodness. Okay. Probably go 7-0 after I think this deck is bad. Well, last weekend I had a ton of good fortune on stream. Had 2 7-win decks, and every deck was a winning deck. So, thank you for all the gift subs, Regan Smash. Really appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you too. Well, I mean, I think we keep it. We have both colors of mana. We have a 2-drop, but we don't really want 2 Aeronaut's Wings in our opening hand. That's the downside of jamming them in. But we didn't have great options. Do I play the Death Touch Warplow or play out an Aeronaut's Wings here? I think adding to the board is probably worthwhile. This will be interesting. Alright, prison sentence. Well, if we ever draw our Power Stone Fracture, we know what we're sacrificing. Oh, okay. So we're feeling the pain of jamming in some subpar cards into our deck. That is for sure. Alright. So, probably cast Prison Sentence here. So Kayla's Reconstruction for 2 next turn really isn't a bad turn. I mean, chances are good we hit 2 things with it. And I do need more black mana at some point, so I think we'll leave it on top. Yeah, we drew all of our equipment. And I don't even I don't like running more than one of these, and I don't like running this at all, so it's not the best spot. So yeah, we basically have to cast this and hope we hit, and I think we will. You know, it's not amazing when we have to do it this way. You know, adding to the board more is of course more exciting. And I could get greedy and wait. I guess they're not pressuring me that much. Do I get greedy? No, I kind of think we have to do it if we're not going to die. Alright, so we definitely get 2. And we want to get Misery's Shadow. Maybe the Locust after that. I mean, the Vanguard's going to like the artifacts we're going to play. But a flyer... I guess the Vanguard can also block them, and I can give anything flying I want to, so... Yeah, that's a pretty good way to spend 5 mana. Is it amazing? No, but it's okay. The nice thing is, if they kill one of them, I can get it back with Hero right away. So, I do like that. That's less than ideal. Okay. Well, 2 to play, 2 to equip. So I can buff Misery's Shadow all the way to a 7/7 here. I guess that means I attack. Yeah. And Aeronaut's Wings is going to be pretty good on it at some point. What do I want to do here? Well, see if they have Disfigure. It is a possibility. Alright, so I think we just buff it once. And then we play Aeronaut's Wings. And we leave up mana for Paratrooper. So this Dragon Engine can hit us pretty hard. That's not a problem at all, though. Why would you run this in, like, your... I guess their name is Janky Deckmaker. You have 1 mountain. It's not... doesn't seem great to me. The Dragon Engine can attack us here, like, legit. We'll see whether it does. It does not. So we'll play our Paratrooper. I don't really want to play the hero until I can actually get something back, which, you know, I think makes sense. So... do I just go for Erase here? Put this on Misery's Shadow and swing in as hard as we can every turn? I think so. Well, more or less. I think we probably also play Mineworker here. So we're going to only buff it once, but once is enough. I could play the hero at some point just to buff everything, but I think I'll have an opportunity to block at some point and get something back as well. A little surprised this medic's not getting in because, well, I guess it's not great for them. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, the Skull Flare has a nice attack too. So we're double blocking the medic. I think it probably is when I have Hero of the Dunes in my hand. And we'll take 6. Okay. So, yeah. I think we play the hero now. Get back our Mineworker. Equip Phalanx Vanguard. And swing with everything that can swing. I think we should be able to kill them next turn one way or another. I guess we'll see. Yeah, so they take down the Vanguard. That's fine. So we're just going to take 2. So the safest way to do this is probably... this. I guess sending another thing into the sky. Not a bad plan. All right. Well, the equipment all ended up doing stuff. You know, that's not evidence that you should be playing Veterans Power Blade, mind you, but the flying equipment definitely did way more than the Power Blade did, so I'll be right back. Okay. Works for me. Probably lead with Vanguard, ultimately. Man, I think it's funny, because this deck, I mean, while it's not great, I think we're like 2 of the 5-mana 3/4 soldier flyer who puts a counter on one of your soldiers. Like, adding 2 of those to this deck would be like a major upgrade. Like, replace an Aeronaut's Wings and a Power Blade with those. Goodness, that would be a good deck. So, I can get Misery Shadow back, of course, without a whole lot of effort, but I don't have a way to do it right now, so because of Disfigure and stuff, I think, you know, at this stage of the game anyway, playing the Misery Shadow isn't a massive upgrade. I mean, it's definitely better because it's, like, impossible to block, but it's not, like, insane either, so... Okay. I'm kind of thinking I play it now. The Misery Shadow, that is. I could play the Medic to use all my mana. But... the annoying thing about it all, though, is they can use the Lantern to exile my Misery Shadow, but I think we still put the pressure on them. I think the Shadow's about to die and get exiled. Oh, it won't get exiled because they had to sack their Lantern, so at least there's that, I guess. So we'll attack for 2 again. Play the Medic. Well, it did get exiled, didn't it? Ultimately. Do I want to attack with both? I'm kind of okay with it. They'll probably block the Vanguard and kill it, but that's not a disaster, I don't think. So we're going to Voltron onto this Medic, so hopefully they don't kill it. It's dead. Not too shocking, I guess. Nice. So, Emergency Weld. Honestly, getting back the Medic with the Blade is just better than getting back the Vanguard, so... we can prison sentence a Trench Stalker and still equip the Power Blade. That we can also prison sentence that. I don't necessarily like have to, is the interesting thing, because of Aeronaut's Wings. Like, I could just play Aeronaut's Wings, Power Blade, equip, put it all on the Medic, and go to town, and I think that's just what I'm gonna do. Look at our equipment deck go. Take that. We do have creatures that are surprisingly good with equipment. I mean, we knew that about our Misery Shadow, but obviously the medic's good with it. And then the survivors are too. We haven't seen them yet, but they love equipment. Gurgling Anointer, yeah. So, do they have a 1-drop? They don't have a 1-drop. So I think we probably just attack. Do they have a 2-drop? They don't have a 2-drop either. So, because they could get its power to 2, although I guess Stern Lesson costs 3. Nice. So I think then we play Vanguard. There is some chance they make me discard, but I think we still hold on to the prison sentence to use it on something else. Okay. Well, now I think we do use it on Gurgling Anointer. I guess I could have used it here and attacked more effectively. Interesting. I couldn't have attacked as hard in the air, but what I did on the ground would have been better. Because now we're just attacking with the medic. I could swing out, but they have so many cards in their hand that I don't think that seems like a great plan. Okay, so Desperation block with Coilless Rock. I can live with that. And we'll also play out the Survivor. Will they stabilize? They're definitely trying to. I've only got 2 blockers and 1 card in their hand, so obviously we're swinging out now. No lifelink or anything. There are a few cards they could have, but not really enough. Do I want to move equipment around at all? Yeah, I guess I do. So guess we'll just put it here. I can recommission whatever it is they kill. So they go to 2 here. And then we cast Recommission. Get back a Vanguard. Yeah, everything on Vanguards, or everything on Medic and Swing Out was lethal too. So I made a not a good decision, I would say. We'll probably be okay, but but I didn't make the right I somehow was like, yeah, moving the equipment will help me do lethal, but spreading out the damage didn't actually help that much. So doing it so that they couldn't block one thing at all and then everything else does like 1 or 2 damage would have been lethal. Okay. All right, so I think we move this here. Attack with both. Yeah, they're dead. Took a couple turns longer than it should have, but... Well, we're started out 2-0 with this deck, and both games have felt... Well, I guess in that first game we were behind until we cast Kayla's Restoration. So we weren't, like, in good shape the whole game, but... Maybe this deck has enough. I mean, Misery's Shadow is a beating, so... Getting that both games has certainly helped. Whew. No black mana is a problem, but we do have 2 completely colorless cards and a really good black card in our hand. I mean, I think we can keep it. Probably won't ever draw a swamp now, but... So I think this format's better than Midnight Hunt was. I think it's... Nice. We drew it anyway. That always feels good. So, do you think we lead with Mine Worker because of Disfigure and stuff? But yeah, this format's a pretty good one, I think, overall. Interesting. So... Like, even though this one's aggressive, there's enough interesting things you can do that it doesn't upset me that much. I'm kind of thinking about playing Misery's Shadow here. I could also just attack and then exile that with the Locust. So let's attack and see what happens. Yeah, that works for me. I was thinking about playing the Shadow, but then they would know it was coming, so it wouldn't have been nearly as good. This lets us exile it and still do 1 damage to them. Okay, so let's attack for 2. Play Misery's Shadow. Play Aeronaut's Wings. I think this format doesn't have that many balancing issues. I think it's actually pretty good on that front. So we could Kayla's for 2. Not sure how necessary that is. I think it's probably just better to do this. They've got removal, I think, but let's see if they have it. We'll just do 5. And then we'll play our Power Blade. And then if we draw a land next turn, then we definitely Kayla's Reconstruction. Oh yeah, the fact that one of the main themes of this set is disappointing, like same thing in Midnight Hunt where werewolves were disappointing, that is like a knock against the format just because of what your expectations are. But the Power Stones are a big part of the format, so it's not like they're, you know, irrelevant, but there's just not really Power Stone decks like you would want it to be. So they killed Misery's Shadow. Luckily we have lots of ways to get it back, so it doesn't upset us too much. Do I cast Kayla's now? I'm trying to think if there's anything I can hit that will make a difference in combat, and I don't think there is. So I think we'll just attack for 2 and then cast it. Good chance we hit 3 things. Let's see if we can do it. Exactly 3 things, in fact. Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, Power Stones can definitely ramp you, but they don't do it that much into big, scary things, like as much as you would want, is what I would say. Okay. So... we're going to suit you up. We're going to equip a Power Stone, or Power Stone. We're going to equip you with this. And we're going to swing for 8. Works for me. We're going to play another land. Do I want to be able to bluff or not? Playing another land means it's more likely I can use this ability next turn and equips to move equipment around, but it's probably not going to be something I need to do. Man, these... you know, I like Aeronaut's Wings, but... having 2 has definitely been better than I expected it to be. Kayla's Restoration has been key as well. The 2 games we casted, it did good stuff. And if you pick it up on the wheel like we did, like, it's definitely worth the 9th or 10th pick or whatever we spent on it. In a deck where, like, 80% of your non-land permanents get hit. Alright, so they do that, which is less than ideal. What else do they do? Power Stone Fracture? Looks like... no? Desperation, draw a card? With 1 green mana, I don't know how you're not dead. Okay, so... do I want to spread it around? They have 1 green, though. I shouldn't... there's not much I should be worried about. So let's just put it on the Vanguard. Our Black-White Skies deck. You know, last time, in the last format, there was a draft where I thought the draft went awful, and I was not very confident. And then I think I won 7. So, maybe we'll do it this time. I don't know. Maybe I should say my deck's awful more often. Yeah, there have been formats before where flying equipment is good. Like, Zendikar Risings was good because it equipped for free, you know. But there have also been formats in between where it wasn't so good. There was, like, the Zephyr Boots or whatever that was just not good. There have been, like, Clay Wings or whatever. Like, there have been some bad ones mixed in, too. But it's just similar to our last hand, except we're missing white mana. I do think we keep. We're on the draw, so hitting white's more likely, and we have the same thing where we have a couple of things we can play for even if we don't draw white mana right away. And we do it anyway, so that's been helpful. That happened to us in the last game, too. I think I gave it a C+ or something in the set review, yeah. But then, you know, in the actual format, it was nowhere near that good. We're going to lead with Vanguard because, you know, we can play artifacts and buff it. I think we're okay with just straight up trading here and then playing another Vanguard. Next turn I could play Aeronaut's Wings and equip and start going to town. If they have mana up, that's probably not what I do. Ooh, God. We haven't had to deal with this yet. Does this turn off abilities? It does. So we should probably just do that. Maybe. It's not that likely they can use this ability right away. Yeah, that was a much slower format for the most part, Strixhaven. So let's just put them on a 5-turn clock or so. And I can prison sentence things as needed. If they attack, it basically guarantees they have a trick. Because you don't just attack with Junkyard Genius, you know. It's like the best card in your deck, and you don't really want to trade it. Okay. Could do some more Voltroning here, but now that Junkyard Genius has some friends, I think it's better to play a Prison Sentence. But first we'll play a Mine Worker. Attack them for 4. And play a Prison Sentence on Junkyard Genius. We've got 5 mana, we've got a creature in the graveyard, so yeah, we definitely want to draw Hero of the Dunes. So the bummer is they can sack this, but, like, you know, that doesn't bother us that much. Alright, so let's play our hero. We have actually managed to preserve the whole 4-turn clock thing. I guess I may as well attack with Mine Worker, too, honestly. Probably block it with the infantry, but, you know, that's one less sacrifice fodder thing they have, right? Alright, big boy. Okay. Isn't that just lethal? Wow. Okay, so we're gonna play the Power Blade. Buffs that to 5. It's not quite lethal, actually. Darn. 1 damage short. Do I still do it? I mean, probably, yeah. And then I probably swing with Phaling's Vanguard, too. So... Drop them to 1. So even if they have removal, like, they have to deal with the flying equipment. You know, it's not enough to kill our Phaling's Vanguard. They'd have to either kill both of our creatures or find more flying equipment, is basically what we're looking at. Okay, so chances are good here that they can avoid dying. Yeah. Well, yeah, if I paid attention to the auto tap, yeah. Well, I think we just attack with the Vanguard here, see what happens, and then probably play Survivor. I may just play Kayla's Reconstruction, though. I guess I could play Prison Sentence, in which case these are both lethal. Turns off Thraxodemon's ability. Yeah, let's do that, actually. See what happens here when we do. We haven't had Disfigure really affect us yet, but obviously our boards have been very vulnerable. Like, this is very vulnerable to Disfigure taking us down. So they are going to do this in response. Sack that. So now they need, like, 2 Disfigures to not be dead. This isn't really... Well, Emergency Wealth's fine. I guess removal's probably better. Even removal that lets them gain life. I guess one Disfigure does it. They lose the 1/1 and they kill the Vanguard, yeah. Ooh, they've got 2 removal spells. Spicy. Alright, well, let's play our Survivor. We may end up needing Kayla's Reconstruction to finish this thing. Do you have a 1-drop? It's always the question. They do not. I guess I can just kill Gurgling Anointer here and swing for lethal. Because they'll go up to 4, and then I swing for 4. So, yeah. Look at this. 4-0 start with the deck I thought was terrible. Really happened once last format, too, where I... And the deck, honestly, like, I do think we're getting some good beats. Like, we keep ending up drawing the land we need when we're keeping, like, 1-color hands, and we haven't run into that much cheap removal. Like, that will completely destroy this deck. Like I said, Disfigure. Things like that are a real problem. But still, you know, this deck just being sort of an aggro thing that has a couple of powerful rares and a bunch of removal has been... It's been fine. It's definitely better than I thought. It's probably not so good that it should have won 4 in a row. But, you know. It is funny that last format I thought I had a horrible deck and did the same thing, though. Silly. All right, this is fine. I wonder if they want to make it a 2/2 so it can block? No, they'd rather have a land, which I think is the right play. They're going to crack it right away. They are. Gix's Caress and Thraxodemon, huh? We went with Caress. Makes sense. Wonder what they're gonna take. If they have Giant Growth or something here, I mean, we would just recommission. So, I imagine they're gonna take Power Stone Fracture, but I guess we'll see. If they do that, that means we crack in for another 4, so I wouldn't be too broken up about that. Yeah, it is what they do. We can't actually crack in for 4 now, exactly. But yeah. Power Stone Fracture plus Recommission is a nice combo. But not one we're going to get going. So, I think we just attack with everything again. I wonder if they double block the Vanguard or double block Survivor, or the most likely thing is probably just that they take 4, frankly. I could Power Stone Fracture like the Stalwart, but that seems silly. The bad news is they may be about to reach, you know, the point where these green decks can start gaining life. And if they start doing that, obviously we're in some trouble. So, yeah, we'll end our turn, flash in the Paratrooper, and hopefully just, like, untap and be able to swing and buff our whole board. But I think there's a good chance they play something big here that makes that harder. In which case, I'd probably Power Stone Fracture it. But if it gains them life at the same time, Power Stone Fracture is not going to feel too good. This isn't great in our deck in general. Like, we need our weldings and stuff, like tokens, to really feel good about it. So they can produce red, but they have to tap both their creatures to do it. So it's not ideal for them right now. Paratrooper is so gross in these situations because they're like, well, I'm not under that much pressure. So if they do something slower, like this, the fact I can just flash in a Paratrooper is like a real problem. They may be able to do something else. And they can. Yeah, they play something I'm going to need to Power Stone Fracture, basically. Yeah, so... could just attack with both of these, I guess. And take the foot off the gas. Well, I would probably still kill something here. Probably the Crusher. But I attack first because I can buff these. And they can't kill the medic in combat. So, yeah. Let's attack with these two first. Ooh. Yeah, no, that's fine. I get to gain the life at least. Like, they could just block with Iron Claw Crusher, but that's fine. I think giving us the opportunity to, you know, get them to double block was worth it, but yeah. They know we have this Fracture, by the way, which kind of means they probably have a plan, but, you know. And I could go for the Genius instead. But this is more of a problem for us as attackers, so... and we can scry off of it, so I think that's all okay. It's all okay with me. It's not great, mind you. But it's okay. They can swing for a bunch here. Especially if they have another creature, but... you know, I can do the same thing right back. And gain 2 life, so... they almost certainly have something else scary. Because they probably wanted me to use my removal on that, which I kind of had to do. But I guess we'll see. Okay, just playing the desk makes me feel a lot better. Of course, it depends on what they reveal off the desk. Levitating statue. Yeah, that's annoying. I've never even heard of Pentiment, so no. Oh, that's bad. Not only does it let them kill something here, it gains them life. So, they may be stabilizing. I mean, we didn't do a great job in the early game of this game, that's for sure. Another Vanguard. I mean, I can't really say no to it. I mean, more bodies is what I want. Are there better things I could draw? Absolutely, but, you know. It's better than a land. More bad news. Okay. Yeah. Holding on to this land to bluff at this point. Sounds like a cool game. To be honest, I don't actually play that many board games. Just end up not having the time to. I play Wingspan like 4 times a year. And then like, you know, oh, there's a Boulder Golem, it's over. Oh, a video game. That's cool. Don't play those much either, but I do play them a little more, and that does intrigue me a little more than a board game. Yeah, this is bad. I don't even, you know, our deck has, you know, every game we've won, we've been able to, like, pressure the opponent early. We also haven't had to deal with this reach creature. And they have this to gain a bajillion, not to gain a bunch of life, but give their whole board menace and everything, so... Yeah, they do have to tap 2 things still to do it, and that decreases the potency of the whole menace thing, but when one of those things is a Boulder Branch Golem, you know, plus you have a Trench Stalker, both of those attacking is enough. Oh, and they can just do it with a Power Stone anyway. That's cool. Yeah. Well... I guess I'm going to do this. It's not that good of a block, actually. Better to do it this way. We take 11. If they have a trick or removal, we're pretty much dead. Yeah, they do. So... what are we going to draw? It'd be kind of fun to draw Kayla's Restoration just because we'd get to spin the wheel, but we didn't do it. So, we shall concede. That's where you don't want a Veteran's Power Blade. The other side of variance. I'm just happy to have a winning record with this deck, so... I can live with it. Alright, looks fine. Too bad we didn't get like a Survivor of Corliss off the top. Uh-oh, another sacrifice deck. That is not our friend. Alright, there's a Disfigure. Hadn't seen... That's like literally the first one we've seen cast today, I think. Options. Prison Sentence is so bad against Sacrifice. I think our plan is play the Vanguard, block Ashnod's Harvester with it, exile the Harvester, unless they don't let us do that, of course. So much for that plan. So now we're getting the beating that we deserve, I think. Same plan, except at instant speed, I think. Flash an ambush trooper, and then locust the harvester. Oh, good. The beatdown continues. All right, we actually drew reasonably well here. Get rid of the harvester and play a 1-drop is not bad. Obviously, they've got some juice thanks to Thraxodemon, but it is slow, at least. So at least there's that. Do they attack with both? They do. I think we kill Gixie and Infiltrator while we can. And then... yeah, we'll play Yodian Medic here. I think we just... I mean, I could attack with the Survivor, I guess. I guess I will. Take that. Oh, God. This number... So we do have the Voltron on Yodian Medic thing. They have a Misery Shadow. Good, good. I can at least put Prison Sentence on it, but having to spend a turn putting Prison Sentence on it is not great for us. Yeah, that is what we'll do. And they can also sack it for value, but at least it's gone. The annoying thing is they can even keep me from scrying. Because they can sack it in response. Wouldn't that be fun? They didn't. So I do get to scry. What do we have in our graveyard? Is Emergency Weld good? Yeah. I guess I already chose to put it there. Then we'll play Aeronaut's Wings. Yodian Medic could lead us back to an advantageous position. We'll see. They do still have the research desk for, you know, if they're flooding out, and it looks like maybe they're going to kill the medic. They do. This is more how I expected this deck to play out, but, you know, once we got into the better win rates, we've had to face down some pretty scary decks. So now they can just attack us with both of these, no problem. Plus exile something. Ouch. So... we'll be blocking that. We've only got 1 black mana, so... yeah. But we are going to weld nonetheless. Get back to Ambush Paratrooper. It's not much of an ambush, but maybe they'll at least be worried we have something else if I don't flash it in. Now, or don't play it now, that is. Alright, so we flash in the Paratrooper. Block that. Block this. Ouch. Yeah. The beatdown is real. This is a, you know, these aggro decks are better than ours. Of course. It's black-red. Started out 4-0, then lost 2 in a row. Tornado Siren time. Just a test. I don't normally stream it this time. I've had to explain it a few times. I test it every Saturday at noon. Every other time we've kept a hand like this, it's paid off, but the other ones have also had less bad fail cases where, like, I could play two things even if I didn't draw the right color of mana, and in this case, we're in some trouble, but we're still going to keep it. Even just turn 1 Evolving Wilds means there's a pretty good chance that they're playing the Sacrifice deck. It's funny. Especially if they search up a mountain or a swamp here. Yep. Are we going to lose? No, they're blue-red. Okay. I think we have a better shot against them. Yes, we drew the white mana. We did it again. So... I think for the same reason we haven't run out Misery Shadow right away in other matches, we're not going to do it here. We do have Hero of the Dunes to get it back, so I'll probably play it like next turn, but... I think for now, playing the Vanguard is fine. I'll probably end up playing the Medic, actually. So, I think this is... If they want to trade, that's fine. Hero of the Dunes always makes that easier. Yeah, we'll play out the Medic here. Be more efficient with our mana. Uh-oh. This is a nice combo. Ow. Okay. Could go the Power Blade route here. Use lifelink to even out the race. I don't hate it. I could also play Misery Shadow. And then Fracture next turn. But I think we're going to go this route. Except my mana didn't tap correctly. Goodness. Why is the auto-tapper doing that? Should turn it off, clearly. Today's been like the worst auto-tapper day of my life. They're probably like, haha. Like, why do you want me to leave up 1 black mana, auto-tapper? What are you even doing? What are you even doing? Okay. So, I think we play Misery Shadow. Then there's a question of whether I want to Power Stone Fracture and sack, like, the Blade. But I don't think we do right now. So if they attack with this as a 4-4, I think I'd probably block it and pump up my Shadow because I can get it back with the hero next turn. Looks like they may just outright kill it. An Obliterating Bolt would be particularly bad news for us. So... Okay. Any reason for me to pump it here? I mean, it's going to have 6 toughness, so the answer is no. So. Yeah, we'll take 6. Ouch. Okay. I think we probably still Hero of the Dunes and get back the, thing. Imagine if I'd actually attacked for 3 and gained 3 earlier like I wanted to. Oh, I just missed out on 1 damage too. I'm bad at Magic. There's no other explanation. Because would have been 1 more damage and I gain 1 more life. Yeah. I think we're in pretty good shape despite me trusting the auto-tapper and missing out on damage though. Given what our hand looks like and what our board looks like. Another Might Stone's animation has joined the party, though. 4, 7, 10. So I could just win on the backswing, so... 4, 7, 10. I have to draw a land to win on the backswing, but I think we probably still just take it. Okay, we drew a land, so that means we can go 4, 7, 10. Yeah, so we go prison sentence on the courier. They could have bounce here, which would be bad, but I think we go for it nonetheless. Yeah! Luckily, our cards were so good, it didn't matter that I played poorly. Now we made it to the break-even point. Managed to avert 3 losses in a row to finish off the draft. All right, well, another one of these and another keep. These have all worked out for us today. But, you know, this is a reasonable keep no matter what, even if... I mean, I hope we draw a swamp, of course, but... we could play almost everything in our hand with just white mana anyway, so... and we drew our swamp. So, Mineworker's obviously rumbling. Can't block anyway, so... with Recommission in our hand, I think I actually want to play out Misery's Shadow. Yeah, I mean, it even stops them from attacking us in that scenario, so... let's swing with some Misery and a Mineworker. This does become a 3-2 here, but, you know, that's fine. We're okay with that. The only way that matters is if they double block, and if they double block, they take, like... yeah, it wouldn't have been worth it for them. But, well, it would have been if they don't know I have Recommission, I guess. It might have been worth it. We'll do 5. And we'll play a Medic. Misery, Shadow, and Kayla's Reconstruction have been sweet. This one I already knew was really good. Hadn't gotten to play with the Reconstruction yet, so it's nice to get to play with the new card. That is bad. Yep. I mean, there's some triggers that are a problem. So again, I think we attack with Mineworker here. And Misery's Shadow. We're just going to pump all the mana into the Shadow if they don't block here, because we don't have anything else to do. Recommission isn't doing a thing here, but eventually it will. Ooh, that's spicy. That means they were really worried. They may be able to get it back, I guess, but I'm still pretty surprised. But yeah, we're just going to buff all of this. Do as much damage as we can. Which is 7. You know, drops them down to 5. Our Mineworker goes away. Oh yeah, they can't get it back because of Misery's Shadow. So, multiple triggers here wouldn't be great. That's also not great. That's helpful. Okay, so... play land. We are 1 away from being able to just outright kill Trench Stalker, but we don't have to outright kill Trench Stalker. See how they block here. Okay. 3. Definitely want to kill Trench Stalker in this thing. Although, hold on a second. That's only 5 damage. So I can lay down arms the Infiltrator. It's a sorcery, isn't it? I just remembered. Alright, so we can't do it that way. So we do want to kill these two, most of all. Two, 4, 5. Do I just go the rest of the way? I think we probably do. We have to wait a turn to recommission, but I'm okay with that. And then, what do I want to lay down arms? I mean, I don't necessarily have to do it yet, so I don't think I'm going to. Although, if I let them untap their green deck, and you know what green decks can do in this format with the trick, I think we still hold on to lay down arms, though. Let's hope they can't exile our Misery's Shadow. That's going to be sad for us if they do. Alright, looks promising. They did just mill probably the best card in their deck in Awaken the Woods. Okay, well, alright, so let's recommission. Get back Misery's Shadow, which is pretty miserable for our opponent. Play Aeronaut's Wings. Equip Aeronaut's Wings to Yodian Medic. Attack them for 2. Alright. So I could have used Lay Down Arms at some point there, but there was never a big enough threat, and then we had, you know, giving them more life would have slowed things down for us a bit, so. Alright, so we've gotten to 6 wins with this deck. Can we do, in back-to-back formats, have a deck I think is really bad win 7? Let's find out. We only have one shot at it, because we've already lost twice, but... I think almost every game we've won, it's either been Misery's Shadow or Kayla's Reconstruction. So, you know, and we've had games where our deck did feel as miserable as I thought it would play, but I think 4 or 5 wins with this deck was probably a reasonable expectation as opposed to like the 1 or 2 I was expecting as like a reasonable expectation. I mean, we have a bunch of removal. So, what do you need? What else do you need, you know? 350 draft games. Yeah, when you actually say that, it's kind of insane. But, you know, it makes sense. Because you play, you know, somewhere between 8. You play 8-ish, probably on average, per draft. So, okay. It's not a great hand. I do think it's a keep, but, you know, we're missing a color again, which has worked out for us every time so far. But we also have more lands than we would like and not that many early plays. So the good news is if they kill our Survivor or something... My cat's playing. If they kill our Survivor or something like that, we do get to Scry. And there's another Survivor. We haven't actually done much with them. We haven't been able to equip them a whole lot. I was thinking about Prison Sentence on the Skull Flare, but I think because I drew a Vanguard, I just do that. The only thing about the Sentence is it would help smooth out our next few draws in addition to allowing me to swing for 2 here. And that definitely matters right now. But the Skull Flare is also just not that much of a threat. So I think we play out Vanguard here in the turn. Okay. Well, guess we're going to try to race now. Which we can do a pretty good job of. Provided they don't have removal. Disfiguring things that I've had equipped hasn't happened at all, and that's going to feel awful when it does, because I spent money for the card. I think it's... Doesn't feel nearly as bad if they pay 5, though. That's for sure. I do hate that they exiled it, though. What's that about? So... I think we're taking 5. Hey, there's a swamp. Well, let's suit one of these up, because now together they can just double block and kill things. And then I'm also going to put Prison Sentence, I guess, on Skull Flare. It's going to be a bigger problem eventually, even if it isn't right now. Alright, Locust is fine. I don't really want to land, but I do feel decent about a Locust. Oh, God. So they're going to draw a card. And yeah, so I don't think we're getting to 7 with this deck that I thought wasn't very good. Don't think we're quite going to get there this time. They can't use the activated ability or the Unearth, and that's something. But not really enough, I don't think. Don't have good attacks, so we aren't going to use them. Oh, God, it hurts. Okay. Yeah. The bane of all aggressive decks. Well, alright. I think we play out Warlord's Elite here. And then we tap land, equipment. I mean, I think I'm attacking with the Locust. Hero of the Dunes will eventually buff both of these to the point that they're more formidable. If, you know, normally this is the kind of deck I like to play in the format. The black-green deck where you're slamming Boulder Branch Golems is a wonderful thing. Ooh. Not when you're not playing it, but, you know. Yeah, so... Yeah. Could take 10. That seems a little unwise, though. You get to scry at the end of their turn. And go to 7. They draw another card. No, no. Don't you love it when you scry and that's how it goes? You put away 2 swamps and then you draw one anyway. We're just going to empty our hand because if we block with the Survivor, we're going to have to scry. Not really worth an attack anymore, I don't think. Another removal spell. I mean, we're already pretty much done in, but we'll really be done in by another removal spell. Alright. Okay. Gotta trade our Warlord's Elite for one of these Golems. And... Ugh. I can block the Dispenser, but even if they don't have anything, they get to kill all 3 of my creatures. And then I'm left with nothing. So... I guess I'm going to do this. Still not left with much, but it's a little better. Giant Growth for the win. No? Okay, we have one more turn. I guess Kaya's Restoration has like a narrow chance of helping us get there. We do get to Scry too. It's still in our deck, so our chances of drawing it are reasonable. Alright. Can we hit Kyla's Restoration here? Kaya, rather. Oh, Reconstruction. I've been calling it the wrong thing the whole time. So we do hit it. It's definitely better than Emergency Weld is, right? I mean, we don't have anything... No, yeah, it's definitely going to be better than Emergency Weld. So let's draw it and hope we hit, like, 5 things. It's a good chance we only hit, like, 3, unfortunately. Oop. I can't do it for 5. So 4, I mean, we have an okay shot at doing it. God, I hate it when they say good game early. Unfortunately, we didn't really hit enough to, just, like, destroy them or anything. But it's still a premature good game. I mean, come on. Who knows what I could have had? Yeah, they said, oops. I mean, I'm still dead, but it's not over this turn anymore. I can block your stuff ugly just to make your life more difficult for saying good game early. That's how I roll. Okay. Well, maybe it is just good game if they swing out, huh? We're at 3. They do have enough mana to pump this. So I guess we're going to make them do it. I don't think I can double block anything and survive. So let's reassess. Yeah. So, they buff our Gothian Sprite here. Theoretically. One would assume. Wow. Okay. I mean, they just get to play another Boulder Branch Golem, so it's not like they're in trouble. I actually don't have the mana to. Is there anything else I can draw? Can I draw another Kaya's Reconstruction? Reconstruction? Yes. Kyla's Reconstruction. Let's see if I can say both words wrong. Oh, yeah, they can cast it the cheap way, yeah. Alright, we're dead. 6 wins, though, I think is a great result for this deck. So, I will take it. For sure. 6 and 3. Definitely better than I expected. We definitely had things break our way a few times, too. But it all evens out. Sometimes you draft a really good deck and you go like 1 and 3. So, you know, going 6 and 3 with a medium deck evens out.